It is no secret that we here at the First Branch are very, very critical of the conservative movement here in America. As a matter of fact, we've openly stated that we believe that currently that the conservative American citizen has no advocate in D.C. We have stated openly that it is not Republicans versus Democrats, that the fight truly is, from a political perspective, it is the American people versus the Washington elite. And there was a post that was posted last night by one of the most respected. As a matter of fact, he's kind of considered the conservative golden boy. And he's right here from the great state of Texas. And I'm talking about Representative Dan Crenshaw. I mean, he is America. I mean, he's a wounded Navy SEAL who is conservative. I mean, he is America. When you look at what conservative Americans stand for, like he holds to conservative values, or so he says. He served his country. He was wounded on behalf of the defense of freedom. Like, that is America. And so people tend to back him without giving it a whole lot of thought. But we here at the First Branch, we believe it is our responsibility as conservatives to hold conservative leadership accountable for the things that they say and that they do. And Dan Crenshaw last night really stepped in it with a tweet that he had posted. Now, this tweet, I tried to find it this morning when I woke up and I couldn't find it, so he has since deleted this tweet. But in the vein of holding people accountable, we're still going to look at this tweet because it alludes to the current mindset of conservative leadership in Washington. And so when I talk about Republicans and conservatives in this episode, I am talking about the leadership. I'm not talking about the average American who wakes up every morning, puts on their bootstraps, goes to work, and fights on behalf of their family to provide a better life here in America. I'm not talking about those conservatives. I'm talking about the Republican and conservative leadership in Washington, D.C. And I truly believe that the American people, the conservative American movement, has no advocate in Washington. And Dan Crenshaw's tweet last night proved it. And the biggest piece of evidence for it is he felt confident to broadcast this mindset because he thought he was fighting the right battle the right way. He's fighting the right battle, but he's certainly doing it in the wrong way. And it's doing it in the wrong way that shows his true mentality in the way that he thinks, the way that he sees himself as a representative. And I want to address that here today. And I'm just going to read this tweet right now. All right, and this is in reference to, he's responding to the SECDEFs' new policy concerning allowing transgender service members to transition while on active duty or in the National Guard. This is clearly not something that conservatives should endorse. So I agree that we should not endorse this behavior from our SECDEF. I'm all for it. All right, so I'm for his fighting against it. What needs to be called to attention is the manner in which he's fighting this. All right, and so here's what the tweet says. The only people that want a woke military are Democrat politicians and the Chinese. Americans want a battle-ready military that can defend them. And then he writes in his last sentence, and this is the sentence I want us to pay attention to. Pass it on so the new SECDEF can hear us. And why this last sentence is so important, and what I mean by this, how this last sentence alludes to his mindset, is he's our representative. And he just jumped on social media and said, I want you, the American people, to do my job for me. So you get on social media and you guilt the SECDEF into behaving properly. That's what that last sentence is. It's what he said. Make enough noise so that the SECDEF hears us. You were elected to represent your conservative constituency. They elected you for that purpose. It is not their job to then jump on social media and then guilt the SECDEF into proper behavior. You, Representative Crenshaw, and all of your political conservative pundits that jump on social media and make fun of liberals for doing this very thing. You make fun of liberals for using social media to cancel others. And then you jump on social media and then ask the American people to cancel the SECDEF. My question to the American people that are watching this is, when we have an issue with Washington, who are we supposed to contact? That's right, we contact our representatives. Dan Crenshaw is a representative out of the 2nd district, the 2nd congressional district here in Texas. That's his job. There's an issue with the federal government. And the federal employee that was voted for, that was hired for, and is paid to solve this problem, to address this issue, jumped on social media and then asked his constituents, actually basically all of America, to do his job. Hey, Dan Crenshaw, how about you get off of your lazy butt, walk over to the other side of the Capitol building, and talk to the Senate Armed Services Committee and fight your battle where it's supposed to be fought? How about you tweet, hey, just had an amazing meeting with the members of the Armed Services Committee. We had a great discussion. We found a way ahead to solve this issue. You haven't done that, have you? But that's what you're paid to do. You have taken the taxpayers' dollars, cashed them into your bank account. All right, you make $173,000 a year. All right, and you're getting paid to fight on behalf of your conservative constituency. But instead, you have jumped on social media and said, hey, conservatives, you do my job for me. I'm too busy doing celebrity interviews on Fox News. I'm too busy running my own podcast. You're not paid to do those things. You're paid to represent your conservative constituency. That's why they elected you. It is your job to get off of your butt, go to the Senate, and fight on behalf of conservative values in the Senate Armed Services Committee concerning this issue. Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you posting pictures of that on social media? Instead, you're posting on Twitter how you've got a new podcast and you're doing tremendous interviews with other conservatives. That's great. A lot of conservatives out there making a lot of noise. But there's no conservatives in the halls of Congress fighting on behalf of conservative values in the medium in which they should be doing it, which is through legislation. Instead, you jumped on social media and said, fix this for me, America, when you were hired to be the one to fix it. So where's the legislation? Where's the proposals? Where's the meeting minutes from your meetings with the Senate Armed Services Committee? Where are those, Dan Crenshaw? Where are those tweets? That's the whole point of this. I'm trying to get the American people to see. This channel is trying to get the American people to see the importance of holding Republicans accountable, holding conservative leadership accountable for behaving in a conservative manner, and you're not doing that. Matter of fact, you've taken taxpayer dollars and then turned around and told the taxpayers what to do. If that ain't big government, I don't know what is, because I believe you yourself have criticized big government for operating in this manner, and then you turn around and operate in the same manner. This is my point, America. This is what this channel has been trying to get across. Here is more proof from the conservative golden boy who has taken taxpayer dollars and then turned around and told the taxpayers, hey, I ain't doing this job. You do it for me. I'm too busy running podcasts and doing celebrity interviews. You need to make the noise. No, Representative Crenshaw. You need to fight on behalf of the conservative constituency that elected you to fight on behalf of conservative values in America. That's the problem. This channel is in Roger Williams' district. We have, on at least 10 occasions, sent him proposed legislation. We've asked for him to do interviews with us, to have discussions concerning conservative movements. Why aren't these pieces of legislation being passed? Why isn't anybody even submitting conservative legislation in Congress? Nothing. Yet Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has tons of videos out there where she is talking to her constituency, doing interviews. She's in large forums. Why aren't you guys? Where's the conservatives doing this? Why aren't the conservatives putting forth conservative legislation? Why aren't you fighting on behalf in committee for these conservative values? The conservative America deserves to have answers because they have been supporting you. They have had your back. And this tweet proves that you have not had theirs. The American people deserve answers. Conservative America deserves an answer from you, not a deleted tweet. You don't get to delete this tweet and be like, whoo, dodge the bullet. No. This channel exists to hold conservative leadership accountable. You deleted this tweet because it embarrassed you. So instead of, look, I'm just gonna address it. Saturday Night Live, when you were running for Congress, embarrassed you, and they then in turn embarrassed themselves by shaming you. Or at least making fun of you. Not shaming you, they made fun of you. They had the courage to go on national television and sit side by side with you and apologize. Do you have the courage to come on this show and apologize to the American people? You know, I would love for you to come on this show. I would love to meet you. I would love to sit down and discuss because Roger Williams isn't coming. He ain't talking to me. So I'll talk to, I am literally calling out to any conservative that'll have the courage to come on this show and discuss some of the legislation that we've been submitting to Roger Williams on behalf of conservative values. All right, we'd love to have you on this show. We'd love to have you do that, to set that apology up here and apologize to your constituency for ever thinking that it was their responsibility to do your job. And I'd love to have you on the show to do that. I'd love to sit there and talk with you about the current mindset of Republicans in Washington, and why aren't real conservative legislation being presented to Congress? Why isn't conservative legislation being passed in Congress? And what is it going to take to overcome that hurdle? I'd love to have you on this show. Would love to have all those things resolved. But you need to answer for this tweet. You don't have to do it on this show. That's a fact. But I will say this: we are only 3 hours from you. You're in Houston. We're in Killeen, Texas. Got the world's largest military installation just up the road. Could give you a tour of it. I have access. Would love to have you on it. Would love to take you around. Do you have the courage to come on this show and discuss these things? Because we'd love to have you on it. But you need to be held accountable for this tweet that you said. You need to answer for why you thought it was okay for you to pass the buck and put this on the American people, when you should be going to the Senate Armed Services Committee and fighting the battle there in the halls of Congress, where legislation gets passed. Because that's how this change. That's how our system of government works. We have a legislative due process. So use it. You're getting paid to. That's all I have. I want to see this right. I want to see the conservative movement in America just move forward, to grow, to gain strength in the federal government, to enact laws that are based on moral authority. And this was Bush League, man. It was absolutely Bush League. And the American people deserve better from its conservative leadership. Because right now, what that tweet says is that you have the mindset of a liberal, that you have the mindset of big government, that I am too big to handle this problem. This is that you as my constituents need to do this through social media. No, Mr. Crenshaw, you need to do it through the halls of Congress, through the due process of legislation. Again, I'm going to put a link to my email below in the description. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from your office. I'd love for you to come on the show. Again, we're in Killeen, Texas, only 3 hours from you, 3 hours north. It ain't going to take long. It's a day trip. Come on here. We'll do an hour, hour and a half. Who knows? Maybe we'll have so much fun solving problems that we spend a weekend doing it. How awesome would that be? Two conservatives sitting down, solving problems, making America, truly changing the direction of America and seeing it move into a more conservative vein. How awesome would that be? That's exciting. And I'd love to work with you on that. But do you have the courage? Do you have the courage to change your mindset and realize you're not too big to do the job that you were hired to do, to truly enact conservative legislation to change this? I'd like to hear from you. Again, email is going to be in the link below. Would love to hear from you in your office. Thank you very much for your time.